Good morning to you. It's Merritt with Apteros Trading, looking at the S&P futures. All right, let's start with yesterday, recap what we said, what happened, and then we'll look at today. All right, yesterday we talked about, our mentality was kind of swing long. That's where we were really focused. Sure, could there be opportunities to short? Yeah, we would probably look for some of those, but long either from the bull zone or either from this retest here, or anything after FOMC, or anything holding above, even though this is, getting near FOMC and whatnot. But we didn't get many more of those, unless you went with a very fast trend, try here, which was feasible. You got a rotation, but then you got stopped. So anyways, the plan was to be bullish, and there were three areas in which we'd want to be bullish from. Essentially, what happened is the bulls were in control for the most part after a little test and go lower right off the open. But this is the trade right here. You get the pullback after we convincingly break above, get a little wick right there. That's the trade. And so you either, you take a partial profit, here or into this kind of very, very capitulatory order flow top there. Potentially look to get a more aggressive here if you're wanting to really press it. Very weak rotation. Now all of a sudden the buyers are gone. So it just doesn't make sense to continue pressing there. In fact, it makes sense to exit this trade, especially once you see this pattern here off continued nobody buying. We're headed into FOMC. So that's pretty much that. Then you get the, news event. And if you're aggressive, this little spot down here is a spot you could look to get one. As I said here, this is another spot you could look to get long. But other than that, there weren't any really convincing shorts to take. Not really any at all. So I liked the long side. And as we look at what happened overnight as well, after we've shaken out the news and figured out what the heck's going on, we get some nice, easy, clean holds above this, what was a bearish area. And that leads to bullishness. We start going for some bigger targets here. Couldn't maintain this one as we see. We've gotten back below it in terms of just a very, very tertiary neutral reference. But we'll adjust levels and talk about what we think about today. 1 second. All right, so here we are, 32 minutes until the pit session open. And I'm not too terribly excited about today. I think that we've got our inflection from the absolute key bull zone we've been talking about for days here as we interacted with it. Either you've, if you're a swing trader, longer term trader, you've gotten into that position and you're holding. And now there's just a whole lot of like backfill and retracing and all kinds of stuff that can happen while that idea plays out, right? So that's big picture. So for some of us, there's not really much to do. Like at this point, you're kind of looking for what I've highlighted as a very important area up here. Let's just call it 4470 for, round number purposes. That's kind of the next stop, if you will. And not even just getting there, but probably just running some stops through there and seeing what that looks like all the way up into 44 high 80s, So that's what I think overall. Just like yesterday, I said overall, I think swing long is the mentality. I think, that's what we're trying to do. Now, what could we do in between now and then? Well, a whole lot of stuff. So what's tradable today for those of us who are shorter term, who are not in any swing positions, and who aren't just going to go play golf? Well, I like this area. I think we've got some confluence here. It's a pretty wide zone, but for the current volatility, it's not that bad. 4380 to 4390, so essentially all the 4380s. This could be a spot where if the bulls are going to maintain some kind of medium-term control, we could see a potential retrace into here, obviously, but then them firming up this area and holding it, defending it. That could be a good trade location to get involved with a nice long. And where could this go? I think the first place is here. I think this is the next level that I really care about. It's in fact, let's make it a different color, just so we remember it. Yellow. There you go. So this spot, in fact, I can make multiple since it is a confluent area. There you go. So that's to me the next stop there if we get into this trade. So a very nice potential profit there. What about on the downside? What if we do start to hold back below here? Sure, I will be more than happy to go with some shorts. I still think this is a critical area here. I do think it'll be less strength of bulls the next time we get down there. It'll start to weaken as we talk about these levels. But in general, we'll still, obviously call it a bull level. But anyways, in the meantime, if and when we get down below these 4380s, I will be looking for shorts as we work towards this critical bull inflection again. So this is 4380s is what it's all about today for me. Bullish above, bearish below. I think we can get here at a minimum for starters if we continue to work higher and get this retest or just drive there or whatever. And I think we could get all the way back down here if we get a convincing hold below that line of the sand. Next stop, as I mentioned, if we get above here, we're talking, pretty much 4470. So, all right, pretty clear plan there. Let's go get it.